So we can't do anything until we have a job description and pay commensurate on experience. That's how we can.
Okay, so somebody's gotta draw up a job description.
Yes.
Who wants it?
Just
Okay, I'll do it.
That's not military, you still. That's not military. Trying to look like your shirt.
Okay, I'll draw up the job description. Okay, real quick here, and we will. I need some direction from the rest of the board. I attended a meeting today with, Chamber of Commerce, the dean from Kent State, Trumbull County Planning Commission, and, some other local businesses. And Research Parkway, the property along that road, Kent is interested in doing a rezone on that property. The board can start that procedure. I think we would need to help them work Fenimore to do that. So I guess I'm looking for direction. If you want to start moving that way to do that property, or leave it alone. Rhonda's gonna have to have some involvement in this. Yeah, because we don't know, how to zone it. I think I had a short conversation with her tonight. Zone it commercial, they won't be able to do any manufacturing there at all. Some of these businesses that are interested in locating there, are development and light manufacturing. So it almost pushes us into an industrial zoning on that property. We would, if we're gonna do that, I think we would have to request Kent to put some deed restrictions in that also. They want to move the chamber and the planning commission seem to wanna get moving quickly. So I need direction on.
I would think we would need a request from property owner and or the business, correct?
There's a couple different ways. The property owner could request, or actually the township zoning board, or the township trustees, to my knowledge, can start that process.
Guys?
You just named them all, 3 ways.
Okay. So,
We have to know exactly what.
which avenue you wanna take? Do you wanna take it? Do you wanna see a zone change down through there? Or do we wanna say, we're not interested? Quite frankly, that property's gonna sit vacant. You're gonna have some activity down in that area. I think if you're gonna go, it's go time.
I think we need to know exactly what their process is. I mean, what are they manufacturing, where they're making, and what are they.
Company that I met with today, I don't know if you've seen there's an electric vehicle on the street now by the name of Rivian truck. Anybody seen these?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rivian signed a contract with Amazon for 100,000 electric vehicles. This company makes the back door for those vehicles. They also are in talks with General Motors and several others, I guess. It's a specialty door that they build for electric vehicles, very light, very durable. Aluminum foam, it's kinda interesting, nice little process. Very quiet operation, but they need to add lines. That company needs, around 100,000 square foot to go. They're looking 10, 15 acres. But Kent is interested in that because has to do with electric vehicles and development of such. So there is some of that that's research and development, but that would also be some manufacturing. So that's the problem with that property. If you zone it commercial, they can't manufacture on it. So it would have to go to industrial. And at that point, I think the township would have to rely on Kent to put deed restrictions in place to keep somebody from putting a steel mill in there next week and bothering Rex down there, because
Is Kent gonna own the property and lease it to these people?
now Kent would sell it, but with a deed restriction in place. Kent also,
I'm not familiar with deed restrictions other than in platted subdivisions.
so it would be along the same lines.
Can you have deed restrictions in industrial, or is it just industrial?
I believe you can, I mean, it's their property.
I
So
don't know.
the conversation today was that they believe they could. Some of these are Mark Fenimore questions I don't have answers for. What they wanted me to do was have this conversation tonight and have some answers for them tomorrow, whether we are interested in doing this or whether we're not. And if we are interested, to get the process started. So, I'm just a messenger here, guys. You tell me what you wanna do. It would create around 75 to 100 jobs. Come here.
Well, John, if we were to do something like this here, Kent State has what, like 501(c)(3), they're a nonprofit, so that would have to change, and we would get taxes from whoever built there. So I don't see, do you guys have an objection? I don't have an objection for, having more money come into the township there.
No, I'm in favor of that.
The board? Okay, so my vote would be.
Look, I don't wanna step on the zoning board's toes either here. I mean, that's a discussion that maybe you guys should have also. Preliminary, I gotta tell them we are interested in moving forward or we're not. And then from there, I think Rhonda, of course, at that point, I think the trustees kind of step back and let the zoning boards and, zoning inspector and the lawyers.
Well, at the same time, we have to look at the residents, because they were there first, and get their input before we start moving stuff in. Now, if there was nobody there and they move into it,
There are no
then that's their
residents.
fault. But since they're already living there, great.
In my opinion, whenever anybody tells you something and you find out one day and then we need your answer tomorrow, that's like, wait a minute.
Well-
We're open for suggestions.
We can maybe be interested in it to.
Here's the situation is that this company has signed a contract to produce 100,000 doors for Amazon, and they don't have a facility or a plan to put this together. They started working with the Chamber of Commerce on it. They actually have been working with the chamber. They just built a building. It's probably 50 or 60,000 square foot. But this is moving pretty rapidly, because as this stuff is sprouting up, it's all new, and so they're signing contracts, and they have demands that need met. So I mean, I don't think that they're pushing us for any other reason. People need an answer on what they're gonna do. If we don't wanna do this, then they might wind up in the Space Center or somewhere else. I don't know. Your brother benefit from, get a shot for it too, right?
One thing we could do is we could, ask legal, the wheels are turning a little bit slowly. It may benefit us, and legal would be able to tell us to leave it zoned how it is and give them a use variance, then we could control. We would give them
that works.
we would be able to do that. That would be something that would actually be, something that the township could control.
Are those conversations that you would have with Mark?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
they're,
so would it be fair for me to reach back out to the chamber tomorrow? Tell them the township is interested in working on this project with them. In the meantime, you can start having conversations with Mark, the zoning board, and, you know, cause it's I get it, it's fast.
yeah.
So,
And this company wouldn't be interested like in the old Copperwell property or,
did not sound like it. And I'll tell you why, because the property that Ken is selling is, they're almost giving it away. You take the Mercy Health property, it's a $400,000 property sale, that's it. So,
I,
they're gonna sell them roughly 15, 20 acres for 100 G.
yeah.
They're not gonna get
But
that anywhere else.
I mean, you know, looking at the future, what does Champion wanna see? Do you wanna see that whole thing with, doctor's offices and clinics and all different kinds of things when you drive by, or do you wanna see a factory? The only person that's really gonna wanna locate by a factory is not a factory, so now we have
We kinda got that there now.
Factory Boulevard there instead of the research
As a-
parkway.
As a civil engineer, I have.
An engineer.
Yeah. I have a number of questions. First of all, I don't know how much waste they'll produce in its sanitary sewer. The city of Warren has I&I issues. And normally, whatever's discharged into the sanitary sewer, whatever's produced at the facility, the county has to remove 4 times that amount of what they call I&I, infiltration. So that has to be addressed with the county. Secondly, I know the Mercy Health construction, there's big concern of what that equipment and all those trucks are gonna do to Educational Highway. Now you multiply that by this facility and all the construction traffic. Educational Parkway is already in terrible condition. Educational Highway is going to have to absorb two huge construction sites, and that's gonna beat that road to death.
Chambers seem to think, we talked about that also, Chambers seem to think that with this project, they could leverage some state monies for those roads.
That's something
Do you think that's a conversation we should have with Mercy Health?
well, I think, our county, highway engineer should be aware of it also.
It is, and I think you're right, I think you're gonna see a lot go on up through there. I have not had a bunch of meetings with Mercy. Rex has kind of taken the lead on that, and that's okay, but I am getting some skip out of Mercy. Seems as though Mercy wants to build their complex, and then as for doctor's offices and labs up and down the street, that might not be the case. The case may be that that's all located on Mercy's campus, not up and down the street. It seems to me that Mercy thinks they can facilitate all of that between where the hospital building would be and Educational Highway. They've left quite a big chunk of land out there for that. Hey,
I hope you know there's a sanitary sewer right through the middle of the property.
they're probably gonna talk to you yet. Are you an engineer? So, I don't know, you know, of course, not everybody's gonna want to do that. You're hearing a lot of stuff said that you really don't know how accurate it is. I don't know. My thought is that if there's gonna be growth there, then get it done. If there's not, there's not. I mean, that's a board decision, it's a zoning board decision, it's, you know, I'm just bringing the information from the meeting to the board, that's what I said I'd do, you have to.
My question is, by you indicating that we have an interest and a genuine interest in pursuing the idea, you're not committing anything to anything tomorrow, right?
Am not, but they're gonna want this, and I'll tell you, I think this would be a fast track project. I think that, I think you're talking 60, 90 days. They won't start construction. I don't think this is something that's gonna happen in a year. I think this is a fast track, this is a fast mover, and, you know,
Well, I think we need to talk with Mark,
I think it's not.
as long as we have your permission to talk with Mark.
Well, yeah, because
You do, I
actually,
mean, that's-
you're you're gonna initiate the request of the board to start this, right? I mean,
Right,
is
and
that the
here's-
correct- that's what-
I think that's the right way to go, because if Kent initiates the zoning, they're gonna want, I would think the planning commission's gonna want that parcel first. If we request it, we're requesting the whole. You know what I mean? We're not requesting one parcel for one thing, we would request the whole,
Yeah,
the whole
because
property, which is what Kent wants.
So they want it to be industrial manufacturing.
Not so much, but that's the problem. Kent's thought was light manufacturing. Problem is, we don't have a light manufacturing zoning. So, and that's what I told him, look, truthfully, you should have been part of this meeting, but I went into this kind of blind myself. Gonna meet with the chamber, nobody said much about what we were doing. I went and, you know, I started getting a little bit more information this morning, called you on the way to the meeting, because this is what I know. So when I told him, I said, look, if you're gonna manufacture there, I can't, the only way I see that happen in Champion, that's gotta be industrial property. And Kent immediately frowned upon that. I said, I don't know any other way. Deed restrictions came up. Kent said they thought they could do that. If there's other avenues to do that, that's our responsibility to take back to them. So that's what I'm looking for from zoning boards, from zoning inspectors, from Mark Finnemore, from, you know, give us the information to take back, but tomorrow they want an answer whether we're interested or we're not. And you're right, we're not committing to anything. We're just saying, yeah, we're interested, we wanna work with you, we wanna look at it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but that's the first step.
There's always a possibility that they could get a use variance, and then there's nothing saying that we could not implement a new zoning category for light manufacturing. That would protect
And maybe we
more
should.
the integrity of the neighborhood, and also let them go ahead and get started with their use variance in an agreement that we would work on that, because it would take us a while to do that, but that might be an avenue.
Can I comment again?
Yeah, these guys are part of the zoning board, so.
Maybe I missed this when you first started talking about it, but where exactly is this plot located that they would need to build